What's up guys, it's Roger and welcome back to the channel. And today we're playing some Trials of Osiris on Bannerfall. Now we haven't had Bannerfall in a hot minute for a Trials map, but we got it this weekend and so far it's been pretty fine, to be honest with you. I mean, people can't crutch things like they're immortal as much on a map like this because we have such long range that we can actually play that range and have some fun with it, and people are doing that this weekend. You're going to see a lot of things like Graviton, Lance, you're going to see a lot of No Time to Explain, a lot of snipers like I'm using today, and honestly, I enjoy those long range fights, so I've been having fun with it. But let's go ahead and break this build down to see exactly what I'm going to be using this weekend. Now, starting on our armor and mods, you can see the exotic piece of armor I'm going to be using is going to be Eye of Another World. Now, I want to say why I like this exotic so much is because it's one that can work with any class. You know, a lot of times you have exotics that really go well with one class, but Eye of Another World is one that works with everything. Let's go ahead and see what it does. It has Cerebral Uplink right here. Highlights priority targets and improves the regeneration speed of your grenade, melee, and rift abilities. Provides a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of all weapons. This thing will make your actual abilities fly up in regeneration. You can see I already have 100 recov and 100 discipline, so my nade and rift already have crazy regen, but then you slap this on top of it and it's regenning even faster. I also have some other things to help me regen my abilities even quicker than that, mainly being Absolution, Orbs of Restoration, and Innervation. You can go ahead and pause and read these in depth for any of these if you'd like to, but essentially they give us ability energy back when we pick up an Orb of Power. And last but not least, we have these two bomber mods down here, so every time we use our Rift, we get around 20 to 25% of our innate energy back. So with all those combined, we have a lot of easy ways to get our abilities back all the time. So if you're wondering, hey, I want to pick up those Orbs of Power and get my abilities back, but how do I make those Orbs of Power? Well, pretty simply, I have on a heavy-handed mod, a firepower mod, and a reaper mod. So with these three mods right here, every time I get a kill with my empowered melee, with our grenade, which we do pretty often, or get a kill after using our rift, then we will spawn an orb of power, pick that up. These proc get us a bunch of ability energy back. We're getting ability energy back just from our passive recov and discipline at 100. Our Eye of Another World's pumping it back up. Our reaper or bomber mods down here pumping it back up. So we have so many ways to easily get our abilities back. Now next we should talk about what abilities we're going to be getting back. So over here obviously I have on a healing rift, very simple stuff. You will see I have a vortex bomb on right here just so I can shut down the wells and the bubbles. After that we have blink because, you know, if you're a little floaty boy, again this does work with any class, so if you want to float around like some little freaky hot air balloon, that's fine, but I like to use blink. We're going to be using pocket singularity, of course, our only choice here. So much fun, thanks Bungie. Then we're going to be using axiom bolts. I love axiom bolts. They can track down your targets. You can push with the axiom bolts. They can chase your targets out of position. So many different things that help so much, and I can get a few of these per round, especially when we have something like our Devour procced. So, Devour is off of Feed the Void right here, right? 2 fragment slots, we love to see that. But what happens every time you get a kill with your Devour? It's going to fully heal you. But also, you get grenade energy back, right? People don't really think about that much. They're just like, whoa, Devour is just healing. No, you do get grenade energy back. So it's just another way that we can get our abilities back super quickly. I'm telling you with this build, guys, you're going to be flying up in ability energy. After that, we have one more thing to actually help with our ability energy, which is Child of the Old Gods, or as we call him on my channel, Clarence. Clarence is going to do a lot of things. He's going to lock down area few, he's going to do damage to enemies, he's going to weaken the enemies. But what we're going to talk about right now is when he's actually sucking someone's butt cheeks, what's going to happen is he gives you grenade and melee energy back. So, between this and our Devour and our Eye of Another World and our stats and all of our mods that we have on, we're going to be getting our abilities back super quickly. For the fragments down here, in case you are interested, I do have Echo of Dilation. That gives us a very in-tuned radar so we can pick apart exactly where our enemies are and aggress upon them, or be able to just hold a good angle on them. After that, we do have an Echo of Persistence. This is going to make the initial proc of our Devour go from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. After that, we have Echo of Expulsion. Every time we kill somebody with a Void ability, they're going to explode a secondary time, so if enemies are holding hands, which they do quite often on this map, then they will take more damage. And finishing off, we do have Echo of Vigilance, so if you ever do kill somebody when you are broken shield, you will get a full Void Overshield, and this should go in tandem, I believe, with your Echo of Persistence and actually have a longer duration since you have Echo of Persistence on. Weapons are pretty simple, got some actual classic Trials weapons here, starting with the Eye of Soul. Love the sniper rifle, of course, no distractions is really nice for getting the flinch off of you, and snapshot sights is something that a lot of us like on snipers, including myself, so you can aim down sights really quickly on lanes, and I'll show you a lot of good sniper plays today, the lanes that I like to actually peek. And besides that, I do have on an Exalted Truth hand cannon. Absolutely love this hand cannon, and this is actually the adept weapon for this weekend, guys. So in case you're wondering what adept weapon is it this weekend, I would definitely say go ahead and play, because the Exalted Truth is a great hand cannon, and you definitely want a good roll of it. Mine is just going to have rangefinder right here. You can see 85 range on this thing is very solid. And besides that, I have Repulsor Brace, which is a perk that I really like to run with my Void Warlock here. So when we actually do kill somebody and they're weakened and they're volatile, or they are suppress any of those effects, we kill them, we get a full void overshield, which again is going to work with our Echo of Persistence that I showed you earlier and give us an even longer overshield. I think that is everything covered, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments section or join the Blinkville Discord server. I'm going to have that linked in the top right and in the description. If at any point in this video you are impressed enough that you want to leave me a like or subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that, and I'd love to have you around. As well as the fact that if you do enjoy my Blink plays at any point and you think you want to learn how to Blink as well, go ahead to the end of this video and wait. I'm going to have the full Blink Journey playlist. You can also just go to my channel page. It should be right there in the front of my channel page. It's a whole playlist with a bunch of different videos to help you learn Blink as much as you can. Everything from map guides to movement guides to telling you exactly what guns you should be using to fit your Blink playstyle. If you're interested in any of that, go ahead and check out that playlist. But with all that out of the way, I think we're ready to go ahead and Blink on into it. You know, I really have not been touching D2 lately, just because the game is in such a bad and sorry state that I can't really bring myself to do it. Trials is basically one of the only places that I actually can get myself on and have at least a little bit of fun, especially when I'm playing with friends. But even solo queue today, it wasn't too bad. And you're going to see in these first few clips especially, like, I had to warm up. My shots were kind of off point, and I was really noticing that. But it's just hard to, like, want to make myself play every day, especially when it's something like, you know, Iron Banner just went off, and then we're just in this like lull where it's no Iron Banner, and then we're waiting for Trials to come back. So then for those few days, I just don't want to play the game because it's like, what am I going to do? Play comp? Play sixes? I don't think so, Cowboy. I actually did do my comp last night, won 6 out of 7 matches, and still you just get nothing but gold 3 because that's the highest you can place, which is just an absolute load, first of all, because I remember Bungie saying, in the first season, you're only going to be able to place in gold 3, no higher than that when you do your placements. But then they said after that first season, we were going to be able to place higher than that, depending on what your rank was in the prior season, would play a factor in it, and then how you did in your placements. But to this day, it still doesn't matter how good you do in your placements, because you can only get up to gold 3. And if you're getting lower than gold 3 out of your placements, then you're probably, throwing potatoes at your enemies instead of fucking shooting your guns, but it's just really annoying. I might have a video together soon of my placement matches, but it was just absolutely goofy. So when Trials actually comes back, I'm happy about it, and this weekend isn't too bad. You know, you can see I have quite a bit of range on this Exalted Truth, and this is kind of what I was telling you guys earlier. Exalted Truth is a really good hand cannon. It's very solid. You can see the flinch on it isn't too bad. Has very good range because it has something like Rangefinder on it. This one that I have right here is not even actually an Adept version. It's just a regular one, but I have 85 range on this hand cannon, which is absolutely insane for a 140. You saw how far I was shooting that first guy at. Even right there, at close range, it does pretty good because it has a tiny little red dot, which feels pretty good if you're aiming down sights close up to somebody. Everything about it feels pretty good to me. The sound design on it's fun, the actual frame and look of the weapon is good. So I'm a big fan of Exalted Truth, and I think it works really, really well with my Voidlock here, like I was saying in the intro, with Repulsor Brace. There's some other really good perks in that second slot. You don't have to go Repulsor Brace, of course. It's just what I like because it has the most synergy with my Voidlock, and it's fun to me. Now, you can see here I'm throwing out the Axiom Bolt to chase this guy down, coming in to try to pinch him with my own shots, take him out. I started feeling a little bit better around these rounds, it took me like a couple of matches before I was really starting to hit some of my more shots, and then I felt a little better. I actually do get a Flawless today, which felt good. Just getting a nice little solo Flawless always feels really good, and I think it was only like my second or third card, to be honest. I only reset like once or twice, and I was happy about that, Having the 2 Mercies on Mercy cards now is definitely a big help. You can see there we take one out with our nade that's actually going to spawn an Orb of Power where we kill him with the nade, and it also gave us our Devour. So you can see in the rest of this clip, I'm going to kill these guys. Watch in the bottom left when I get my ability energy back here, killing that first guy and then killing the second guy. We just got our entire nade energy back and our melee energy back because I did pick up the Orb of Power off of killing the first guy. For some reason my brain was like, the Orb of Power should be on the second guy, so I was looking around for it there. That's why I looked like a, monkey fell out of his cage at the zoo and was just lost on the streets of LA, but that wasn't what was happening. I was just, confused in my actual monkey brain, like, where's this orb at? But I got it off the first guy. And that's something I like to point out to you guys. Look right there. I just got my nade back up. If you want to rewind, you can go and check that. The second that I put my rift down, I got around 20 to 25%-ish melee energy, or grenade energy back, for my 2 bomber mods, which gave me my nade back, And then I can go in here and I can throw this guy to the side with my pocket singularity. That made him volatile since I killed him with a hand cannon shot. I got my entire repulsor brace overshield on, and now I'm much more willing to go in on this last guy a little more aggressively, even though I don't have a close range fighting style with this build that I have on. When I have repulsor brace, it can make it to where I can actually go in more effectively and be less scared that I can actually miss one of my headshots maybe when I'm up close and still get a pretty good TTK and kill the enemy because I have that extra bit of disposable health, you know, that I can actually throw out onto my enemies, take some extra damage from them, and still take them out. You can see there again picking up an overpower, just shooting down at this guy. Apparently I couldn't hit his little butt cheeks. I guess that guy needed to do some squats because his fat cheeks were not quite sticking out from the backside of that box enough for me to shoot them off, which is completely fine. You know, we can't all get Brazilian butt lifts. That stuff costs a lot, and although that's usually what I save up most of my YouTube money for, I haven't got one in a while, so I understand why that guy was a little flat and I couldn't quite shoot the back of his cheeks. Now coming in here, you can see my teammate got a good pick, so I want to see if I can follow that up, and I did with a nice headshot on this guy, looking around on our radar as soon as I come out of that slide to see where this last guy is. I throw in a nade in case that can chase him away, and then I slide in up on this guy. The funny thing about this is I challenged him really well. I love challenging Titan Shields. As long as I'm not lagging, then I know I can usually win the Titan Shield challenge. I actually died to Misadventure there. So, you know, Misadventure is basically the game's way of saying, fuck you, you're gonna die now, because yeah, I was silent there for a reason, because there's actually no reason, you know. There's no reason when you die to Misadventure. It's just because the game malfunctioned. You can see here, though, Echo of Expulsion, I believe, does hit the guy on the left side for around 64 damage. Unless I body shot. No, I didn't body shot. Yeah, that was definitely Echo of Expulsion doing that damage. And then the nade comes back in and takes him out. I don't usually get that aggressive if I don't have, like, a shotgun or something. But since I have my abilities up, which is very easy to do with a build like this, because I have another world and everything that I showed you in the intro lets you have your abilities up almost all the time, you can do plays like that. You can go aggressive, and if people are holding hands, you know, if they tie their cocks together, like two people got two pieces of string and just went made a little knot of those things, then you can do some good stuff. We take that guy out, which gave us our devour, which gives us some ability energy back. We fly up on this guy, take him out, and watch my ability energy in the bottom left right now. Boom, pretty high. Pick up this second orb, and look at that. I almost had all three of my abilities back up, and by the time that I got to lane in the next round, which I believe was this round maybe? No. Yes? No, this is a different round actually. But the time I got to round to lane, the round after that last one that I showed you, I actually did have all my abilities back up, and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. This build is so good for having always up abilities. Of course, I like it with Voidlock the best, right? Because you get your Devour, which also gives you, you know, Clarence, and Clarence with Devour, and I have another world, and all your mods. That stuff is going to give you your abilities all the time, especially having 100 Discipline and 100 Recov. That's very helpful. But, like I said, this is a good exotic, a fun exotic, to where you don't have to use my exact build here. You can use anything you want. You can use Solar and have your Icarus dashes and stuff, you know. I know people like their Solar a lot. You can go ahead and use Arc, whatever you want. There's a lot of different stuff. There's just, I don't think, as many good fragments and whatnot on other classes and aspects that help you get your ability energy back up, quite like Voidlock has with Devour and Clarence. But that being said, you could still, of course, use the I Have Another World and all the same mods and still have a really good boost to your ability regeneration. So I definitely implore you to use this build and try it out in some different subclasses if that's something that interests you. But for me personally, I really, of course, like my Voidlock here because I like to blink. So if that's something you want to do too, I think it does work the best on this Voidlock, but anything will work just fine. So a lot of my strategy when I would come into a round was pretty simple. I have my blinks, so I'm going to get to every lane before anybody else in the game. Even without Astral Sight Burst, you're extremely quick, and you're going to beat even somebody grappling, especially on a map like this where you want very fine-tuned movement to get to a lane faster. So once I got to those lanes, well, what was my strategy? Well, I would do my best to take my sniper out and absolutely JFK somebody's head off their body. If I could do that, we'd get a free pick, and then we could go balls to the wall the next couple of people. You see in this round, there was actually a capture point there. Of course, it's always capture point trials now. I do my best not to use them. I really appreciated those random teammates I had because they were not using them either. And we actually got to wipe out the enemy team with just fun gunfights. That's what I always prefer. If I can ever have a round where I can just have fun gunfights, you know, use my guns, use my abilities, and have some fun with it, just like in this round here, you know, I go in, I get a cool super, instead of just sitting in a fucking circle, that's always so much more fun to me. I don't understand why people just want to sit in circles so much, but then again, you know, I guess that's just, you know, life of a Titan, which I will say, Titans are not as bad this weekend since it's such long range, and you're not having to deal with, like, the Peacekeeper Immortal and stuff, and I was talking about that in the intro a little bit, but it's nice this weekend. I feel like I've seen, in just a little bit that I played earlier to get this clip for you guys, not too much of, like, just Arc Titan, except for this guy, of course, you know, cue me saying that, and then cue this stupid little fucking seal that somebody left the cage open at the zoo again. You know, his monkey was running around, monkey brother running around in LA. Here's the seal clapping his little fucking fans going, or, looking for someone to throw a sardine at him. And Papa Roger came into the next round and said, you know what? I'm not going to give you a sardine, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually fuck your teammates and you. So I shot him straight in the dome piece, and then I ruined his teammates' lives. My teammates stepped up too. We were like down 0-3, and we were like, no, these kids are fucking scumbags. You want to come in here and bag? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come, shove my nutsack with my teammate right here so far down your throat that you're going to be tasting it until next Sunday, baby boy. And then I'm going to send you a little message right here. Go run back to mommy. Tell her daddy just fucked you better than he ever could. You are miserable, bro. You're fucking miserable. You're running around trying to crush to the best of your ability. You're like, oh, I got a flaws card. No, baby boy. We're not doing that today. You're getting your slips slapped around, all right? You're getting out of my match, and you're going back to the timeout corner. No one wants to deal with you right now. That match felt damn good to win. Had to show that guys off to you, because it's just like, God, the teabaggers, the toxicity in this game is fucking pathetic, especially lately. I feel like the community's gotten so bored, and that's why the toxicity's gotten worse, because everyone's just like so bored with the game. There's nothing new to do. So if you don't have a new gun to try, I guess you just pull your fucking nutsack out and slime it all over the enemy's face every match. Is that what it is? Is it boredom that's creating all this toxicity? Or is it just like sheer stupidity? Is there too much fucking lead in the drinking water? Is every enemy that I faced in Flint, Michigan right now chugging a big old fucking glass of H2O lined with their favorite metal of lead? Because that's honestly what it feels like when I fight these people in the Crucible. I'm just like, where did you come from? In case you're wondering why I blinked into this guy and threw my pocket singularity straight into his fat butthole, it's because I saw my Axiom Bolt actually did damage to him before, so I knew he'd be a pretty easy kill, proc my Devour off of that, fly up on his enemy behind him, and then take him out with some nice shots. Fly in to help my teammate here. Unfortunately, I missed my snipe, but it's okay. The teammate has it on luck, and he slaps this guy into the next dimension. I'm looking around like, hey, good job, buddy. I like to see that. Sliding in here, you've seen a lot of different angles with my snipers today. Obviously, barely missed my shots twice there. I was like, you're kidding me. I looked at them in slow motion, frame by frame. I was like, oh my God, because both times I missed by like a pixel on each. And I was like, that sucks. But speaking of the actual angles I like to take, which lanes I like to peek with my sniper, I like to go up on the balcony there like you saw this round and a lot of other rounds. That's my favorite place to peek. Otherwise, I do like to peek on the outside of the map. You can go to the staircases on the left or the right, smack this guy up. We do get a repulsor brace proc from that. You love to see it. But yeah, I like to play the outside of the map sometimes because you can get a good angle straight across up towards the middle door, or you could even play towards the heavy ammo spawning straight in front of me here. This is where heavy ammo is going to spawn on that flag. So any of those angles are pretty fine. Be careful where you do peek. Peeking from the angle that I'm at right now is probably your best and safest bet because there's not going to be too many angles that they can shoot back at you, especially at the start of a round. If you're peeking anywhere outside, be very careful because there's so many different angles that they can look at you at. So if you're not being very, very careful, playing your cover very well, and taking the correct angles to peek, then you're going to leave your hitbox way out in the open and you're going to get sauced. So you need to be very careful. Again, I like coming to this area at the beginning of a round because it's one of the safest areas that you can actually lane down with your sniper in the entire game. But you can go somewhere like where my teammate's aiming down right now, or now I am aiming down. That's a pretty safe angle as well, but you got to make sure you don't hold it for too long. If you hold that angle for too long, what you're going to do is create a bunch of extra space that your enemies can come out on the outside of the map, run up on the side of you, and shoot you in the booty cheeks. And like I said before, if you have a Brazilian butt lift and maybe those bullets are going to bounce right off your cheeks, that's great. But if you're like me and you don't quite have one of those right now, maybe in the future we get that YouTube money, but right now we don't have that, so be very careful if you can't soak up some extra bullets on your butt cheeks. But if you have good teammates, especially this weekend, will be pretty good. When it's ever a long range map like this, you're going to have fun with your teammates that are actually unified and all playing together because you're going to get really good team shots even if you have something like a 140 hand cannon on like I do. I will say, if you don't want to snipe, you don't have to, of course, but I would recommend you have at least the range of a 140 hand cannon on. If you don't, you're going to be struggling a lot with your range. If you have a 120 hand cannon, you'll be doing pretty well. But I do recommend you have at least one sniper or a pulse rifle in your build, mixed with something that has a little bit of a closer or medium range. Shotguns are definitely going to be possible, especially if you are blinking, but if you do want to blink shotgun, I recommend that you do run Astro Sight Burst, or you're going to have trouble getting on top of your enemies. Now, all that being said, it's a pretty fun weekend like I said earlier, and I think you guys definitely should get on, even if you're someone who doesn't play a lot of trials. Just give it your best shot, because getting a good Exalted Truth is a very good idea. You can see in this round, my teammate got absolutely domed by a pulse rifle. That's what I'm talking about. It happens a lot. But luckily, a boy hit a very nice shot, and I wanted to hold that res after I did that. So I take out my hand cannon. I hit a nice 3-tap right here after missing one shot, which is okay. And my teammate hits a really nice Cloud Strike shot, I believe it was, and we take them out. You can see here in the bottom left, look at my ability energy. I just got all of my abilities back because I picked up 2 orbs of power at the end of that round. And that's exactly what I was trying to tell you guys before. Look at the end of a round, go see, okay, where are these orbs rolling around, pick those things up, put them in your pocket for later, like you have all your little candy bars in there. I know you guys are walking around with candy bars in your pockets. I check. You think I don't check? Every time you guys pass me in line at Walmart, you know, I'm in there, I'm buying my oranges and onions for the week. Of course, that's my entire diet. I only eat oranges and onions. If you didn't know that, there's a fun fact for you. And then I see you guys in line, and I'm like, is this motherfucker got a Hershey bar melted out of his pocket right now? I see you. You think I don't see you, but I do. But in case you are wondering, where should you put your orbs of power? Put those in your back pocket, baby. Specifically the back pocket. Why the back pocket, Roger? Why do I want to put my orbs of power in the back pocket? Well, I mean, think about it. You're going to be looking thick as Dolly fucking Parton if you got 2 orbs of power sitting in your back pocket, baby. That's basically just a cheek add-on. You don't even need the BBL if you got the orbs of power. You know, I'm going crazy with it. I apologize, I'm going crazy with it. But hey, look at this. This is the last round, and I actually secured my flawless with this round. My teammates really wanted to throw this. We were at 4-0, mind you. And my teammates wanted to throw it. I was like, no, I'm not losing this. I want my fucking flawless. Papa's got to pull it out. Boom, 1 snipe, and he puts down a Well of Radiance. Remember that you can snipe people out of Well of Radiance just like that. Getting those 2 kills enabled me to get my Nova Bomb. I fly in with my Nova Bomb, staying behind cover as long as I can before I actually blink and use it, smack out the last 2 guys, and secure that match for my teammates. I went in chat, I said, GG, you are welcome. Boom, blink straight over here to the lighthouse. You can check out the loot that I do get here with my adept hand cannon. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Again, if you did, and you don't leave me a like or subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that. I'll have my Blink Hunter build coming out later tonight, most likely. If you're interested in that, make sure you are subscribed. Again, check out the end screen here. I'm going to have my full Blink Journey playlist with a bunch of videos to help you learn Blink to the best of your ability. If you are interested in that, stick around and click onto that next. All that being said, that is it for me today. So, as always, have a great day, Guardians.